Good evening, good evening. I am Alana White and I'm here with Kamara, and we are delighted to be here tonight to present the 2023 Dr. Gerald K. Smith Award for Philanthropy.
And I'm significantly taller than she is, and so we're gonna have to figure out how
with heels.
to make this, well, because I have on heels as well. This is not in the script. We need a teleprompter. This award was established in 2013 to honor the work and philosophy of Dr. Smith, who was a strong advocate and mentor, a bold and charismatic leader, and a pioneer in the field. He was the president and CEO of the Detroit Youth Foundation and one of the original co-chairs of the Michigan Forum for African Americans in Philanthropy.
Dr. Smith dedicated his entire career to making the Detroit community better for children and their families. This award honors his legacy, his leadership, and recognizes significant efforts and contributions of individuals in the field whose work and grant-making activities promote effective and responsive social change in African American communities, and who have also demonstrated leadership, impact, creativity, and collaboration.
We are pleased to announce the recipient of this year's Dr. Gerald K. Smith Award for Philanthropy is Melanca Clark. Melanca is the former president and CEO of the Hudson Weber Foundation and the immediate past board chair of CMF. And she is the co-chair of the CMF's statewide Equity Fund Strategic Support Pilot Working Group.
During her tenure leading the Hudson Weber Foundation, Melanca worked with the foundation trustees and staff to embrace a bold commitment to addressing racial disparities with a particular focus on Black communities in Detroit. Melanca was instrumental in developing and for a period leading the Michigan Justice Fund. The fund is comprised of Michigan-based and national funders dedicated to advancing justice reform and the economic mobility of individuals who have been convicted in Michigan's justice system.
Melanca's efforts also led to the foundation's strategy to leverage the Detroit Art Support Program to expand the foundation's distribution of resources to Black-led, neighborhood-based, and culturally relevant arts and culture organizations. As a trustee and chair of the CMF Board of Trustees, Melanca helped to champion CMF Equity's journey with the launch of the CMF Statewide Equity Fund Strategic Support Pilot that has been helping philanthropy shape public investments towards more equity-centered outcomes.
These are among her many efforts to address structural racial inequities in Detroit and beyond, and we are honored to celebrate her this evening. Before we welcome Melanca to the stage, let's watch a brief video to hear more about her incredible leadership.
You, Melanca, are the 2023 Dr. Gerald K. Smith Award winner for philanthropy.
Oh my goodness. I am so moved and surprised and grateful. I've obviously seen all the prior recipients during my time, and I'm like honored just to be a part of that group. And you guys are just blowing me away.
Melanca, congratulations on winning the Gerald Smith Award. This is such an appropriate honor. Gerald was a dear friend, a mentor to me when I came to the Kellogg Foundation, and really anything that I've learned about grant makers that are dealing in the issues of equity, particularly working on issues of race and division, I learned from Gerald and learned it early on. When I came to the Hudson Weber Foundation, he was a close advisor on helping to position some programming there, and I was forever in his debt in how he helped me understand issues in Detroit that I would not have understood any other way. And when I reflect upon his leadership, it seems to reflect the leadership you have had here in Detroit. Compassion, a gentle guidance in how that you bring people along so that they understand their role, but also you move their opinion in that process. And your commitment to the work that you've done reflects the same commitment that Gerald had in everything that he touched to make a difference in Detroit and in grant making. So an appropriate honor for you. If I had one wish, it would have been that you and Gerald would have known each other and that friendship would have resulted in this kind of combustible opportunity to make a difference in philanthropy. But since that can't happen, let me just suggest to you that the thought of the two of you and the legacies that you've left with philanthropy, leave it on the rest of us to pick up that baton and run this race of making a difference in Detroit, in Michigan, and particularly on the issues of race and equity. Congratulations.
It is so appropriate for Melanca to be recognized with the Gerald Smith Award. She's a highly effective leader who takes on tough, complex issues which are not always those broadly embraced. Her knowledge, skill, and focused advocacy lead to incremental, lasting change. For example, the region, state, and beyond are benefiting from her development and steadfast leadership of the Michigan Justice Fund and the Community Policing Innovation Initiative. Both programs are changing lives of those who experience our justice system. These programs are reform models for others to follow. Melanca is such a caring person and always a pleasure to work with. We celebrate her leadership and friendship. Congratulations.
I'm really grateful to have been on this journey with you, where you've used Hudson Weber as a platform for change. It's not just our transactions and grant making, it's not just the work that we do explicitly through our core programming, but it's how do we use the entire thing, right? And ourselves to advance our values and making sure that you have defined our values as always and forever, including racial equity and addressing racial disparities and making us less afraid to talk about Black communities and supporting Black communities in our work because we're in Detroit and because it's desperately needed to do this work in a meaningful and thoughtful way. So thank you.
Congratulations, Melanca.
Oh boy. Thank you, Kamara and Elena, and for everybody on the video. It is such an incredible honor to receive this particular award. And as Dave mentioned, I did not know Dr. Gerald Smith, but know that he was a mentor and an advocate and actually started the MFAP affinity group, which is so important to create a network and help build out the pipeline for diversifying our field. So I'm so honored to have this particular award, and as I said in the video, also so honored to be in the good company of the other award recipients, which include my friend Lynn Farrell, who was my predecessor CMF board chair, and Wendy Jackson, and Pam Lewis, and so many incredible peer mentors. So I really appreciate that. As you might imagine, there are many hands in this work, and I do want to say a special thank you first to the committed and supportive board of the Hudson Weber Foundation, and I'm so glad that the Hudson Weber Foundation board chair, Jenny Hudson Park, is with us tonight, and thank you, Jenny, for your support. Our committed and mighty Hudson Weber team, represented by Michael Shaw, who you heard from, and thank you for the nomination. And Liz Perpich is here, our VP of Finance Administration, and it's been such a joy working with you guys, and you know how I feel because I won't leave you. It's been a long goodbye. I do also want to thank the Community Foundation of Southeast Michigan because we have had so many wonderful partnerships in my time and before my time, and also a special shout out to the Michigan Justice Fund team led by Ashley Carter. I just feel like my baby is in such, and not my, it's our baby, but is in such good hands, and I'm so grateful. So this is not my first time at this podium this week, and I have had the opportunity to share some reflections with many of you that were at the annual members meeting earlier this morning, so I will be brief. But I did want to say that it has been such a joy and thrill to be in the philanthropic field, and I say that having come, I'm a lawyer by training, having come from advocacy and government, and really just felt how special it was to be in this field that has so much freedom to allow for creativity, to allow for innovation, and critically, to allow for self-reflection and learning in a way that is really unique to our field. But I would say it's also a field where that freedom can certainly lead to blind spots unique to our industry, I'll call it, because of the rarefied positions that we hold, which I think really calls for building out a muscle around accountability to the communities that we serve. And that, for me, really is at the essence of what it means to put equity into our work, to continue to push, to continue to interrogate our theories and our assumptions, to continue to ask ourselves hard questions, and importantly, to invite others to ask us these hard questions too, to ensure that our work is landing with impact. And so in that sense, centering equity is about centering responsiveness, centering impact, centering excellence. And I just, to riff on the wonderful presentation from Eric Liu this afternoon, it is certainly not a zero-sum game. He talked about moving chairs on the deck. And, this work is not about picking new winners or losers. And I could not feel more clear in this frankly frightening moment of fear and division and alienation, that we could ever be more called for moving our communities forward with a shared vision of prosperity and a clear understanding that our communities are fractured communities to some extent, that our destinies are tied, and that we must move forward together, that we must rise together. So I feel called to that work, and I feel that I am reflecting wisdom received from working with so many of you all in this room. I've learned so much from Michigan Philanthropy and from the leaders in this room, and I am so grateful that the work that you lead will continue in this place that I will forever feel is a part of me and will always feel like home. So thank you.